Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Dr. Fish King 9, and welcome to another Top 6 Saturdays. Now, this Top 6 is pretty special to me because it's a game series that I've played and been a fan of for a very, very long time, dating all the way back to the second one on the PlayStation 1 that I got back, that my father picked up back in 1999 when I was 2 years old. And the game is very dear to my heart. I love it. And the game's franchise as a whole I've really grown to love. And as you can see by this piece of paper I'm unfolding, I've started to become more... I'm trying to branch out into be more professional. You know, have a list and stuff ready and set up for me to begin. So, let's begin. Now, this franchise I've loved this franchise for years, and I really, really hope they make a new game, finally, for the series, because I don't want to see this IP die. I love the Crash Bandicoot series, and I love their games. I love where it all began, and not as much to where it is now, but I still enjoy it. So, let's all begin. So basically, the Crash Bandicoot, a little bit of history for you guys. Crash Bandicoot was basically Sony's attempt. He was basically Sony's attempt at what Sega and Nintendo have done with Mario, what Nintendo and Sega had done with Mario and Sonic. Create a character create their console mascot. Now, Nintendo and Sega had done it with Mario and Sonic. And the original design name, or the concept name for Crash 1, was Sonic's Ass Game. Now, basically, it was classified as that because Sonic was the most popular animal hero at the time. And basically, it's a hyperactive character running in a platformer, and it's always facing the character, and you're always seeing Crash's ass. So that's why it's been the concept name for it was Sonic's Ass Game. That's some history for you. Now, I picked this, my father picked this game up back in 1999, and so I was really young, and I started playing the game and everything, because I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to play it, and I didn't get very far at all. I got, a couple levels in, I think the only boss I'd ever beaten was, I want to say Ripperoo, the first boss. He was the only boss I beat. I never got to him myself. I needed other people's help, but I did beat him. He was the only boss I ever faced or beaten. So, since then I have grown. I've gotten a lot older and better at video games, so I have beaten Crash 2 since then, and I love Crash 2. I love it. It's a very fun game, but we'll get to that game later. Hopefully, if it's on this list. So, we'll start things off with number 6, and that is Crash Team Racing. Now, Crash Team Racing is my personal favorite Crash racing game. It was one of the first racing games it was the first Crash racing game I ever played, and it was with one of my really close friends from back in the day we were really close friends back in elementary school, and then he moved away. He moved back, and now ever since he's moved back, and he's just a totally different person. So that game is a reminder of how close friends we were back in the day, back in the PS2 era of gaming and stuff like that. So I really do miss the guy. He was fun to play games with and stuff. He introduced me to a lot of stuff, actually. Like, my cousin introduced me to many, many, many stuff, like games like Sonic, not so much Mega Man, but Sonic, Mario, stuff like that. Lots of games like that, Zelda even. My friend introduced me to the Crash race. He introduced me to... My friend had introduced me to the Simpsons franchise games, and they were fun. So we'll start it off with 6, which is Crash Team Racing. And it's a fun game to me. I like the whole concept design of choosing 2 characters, like how Mario Kart Double Dash is. And so I enjoy it. That's really about it. It's got a whole dear to my heart with my friend and everything. And then number 5, we have Crash Bash. Another game introduced to me by one of my friends. Not per se him, but another one of my close friends, up to date still. He introduced me to the game, and it's basically your party. It's sort of like your Mario Party. It's all mini games and stuff like that, but it's a very fun game. Me and my friend loved playing that game back in the day. Sorry about that, guys, but next up is number 4. That is Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex. Now that's a fun game because it was the first of the more or less platforming Crash games. That was like how the Crash 1, Crash 2, Crash 3 were like. That was the first game I'd ever beaten. I could never beat Crash 2. I could never beat Crash 3 back in the day. I got my hands on Crash Wrath of Cortex after that came out. I really, really enjoyed it. I was able to beat it. I loved playing that one. And then but then, I was still never able to beat Crash 2 or 3. I was able to beat Crash 4, or Crash Wrath of Cortex, I guess. Sorry about that. A little late after a day's work. So, trying to get this done so I can relax. But so next up with number 3 is Crash 3. Now Crash 3 is just I enjoy Crash. Crash 3 was also another one of an early games I had ever played, and I liked it. But as of now, like, I've beaten the game multiple times, and it's just as of now I feel like I've outgrown the game. I've outgrown it per se. It's like there's just something about it that it's just I don't like. Really, compared to... I like it more than... Oh my god. But, so Crash 3, I really like it. So, number 2 is one that you really wouldn't expect. I got Wrath of Cortex rather late in the series of them all. Rather late in the franchise. I got it in the PS3 Wii era. I got it at this game store back when PS2 games were like 15, sold for around $20. $20 was back when $20 was considered a cheap PS2 game. I got it for like 30, I think. I got it for like 25, 30 bucks. So I picked it up. I was glad. I was like, oh, cool. But Mind Over Mutant. Crash Mind Over Mutant is at number 2, and so Mind Over Mutant, despite it not being a very good Crash game, it's got a spot in my heart because it was the first Crash game I had ever beaten on my own without anyone else's help. It was the first I had ever beaten without a guide, without anything. First one I had ever beaten. I got it for Christmas when I got my Wii in 2006. No, I got it when I got it first year it came out at Christmas. For Christmas, basically. Oh my god! I didn't update earlier today. Like right before I started filming this, and I was not this tired, or this stuffed up either. But Mind Over Mutant, really fun. It's not the best Crash, but it's certainly not the worst. There are a lot worse games out there than that. So. But number 1, Crash 2. I love Crash 2. It was the first Crash game I'd ever played. It was not the first game. It was certainly not the first I'd ever beaten. But it's just unlike Crash 3. I didn't really feel like I grew out of that game. I still love Crash. I love Crash 2. I love going back and playing the game a lot. It's just a really fun game that I like playing, and I hope you. So basically that's really about it. So it was, but let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Your top 6. Your top 6 Crash Bandicoot games. If you don't have 6, then put your favorite one of all time. But that's really about it. So I've been DrFishCake9. You have been watching, and thank you. You have been a viewer, and thank you for watching, and I hope hear from you guys again soon. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.